Welcome to the part two of the trade potentials for each team. Yesterday we talked, or last video we talked about the RCC Gladiators and how they should tackle this trading period, and a little bit about the rules as well for the trading period. I'd like to move on to a new team, a little bit more in depth about teams now. Till the last video we talked for this segment. So let's just move on with the Trailblazers. Look, the Trailblazers, I'll talk about the auction first, then I'll talk about why they should be releasing a player and who will be potentially replacing that player that's been released. The auction was bad. It was not the best auction. Below par auction. People say, Abiram, it's not Nick's fault. It's unlucky for Sam spending $45 and Sam getting Arjun. It's very unlucky for Nickit, but I believe that it's not unlucky. It's just a bad mentality that Nickit had. Why do I say it's bad mentality? I think Nickit had that mentality of having a one-man army team going all the way till the end to just get Arjun, which obviously a one-man army team is just depending on one player, right? Nickit having that mentality and going all the way through to get Arjun and not getting him, it just creates a worse situation. And even if Arjun was there, the team would have been a bit better. But Nikit and Surya would have just been revolving around Arjun for him to perform in bowling and might as well in just batting as well, which is even a tough position for Arjun to play in a team like this, and even a hard situation for Nikit or Surya to just perform the best that they can possibly perform. So the mentality I believe that Nikit had in the auction was really, really bad. Um, I believe it's not unluckiness. I think it's more of the mentality, just him wanting to get Arjun and not thinking about another supporting player that could possibly support Arjun. Other teams have a supporting player. I take the Thunder for example. You're seeing Vedant, you're seeing myself coming in, bowling, uh par to par, nice experience that team has, along with Dhruv in batting. You're seeing the Stallions coming in. You're seeing sort of now all the three players having a little bit of experience. Simon experience in batting. Still a little bit of one man army as well in that team. I'll get to that next video. But you're seeing experience sprouting out from all the three players. And obviously the Gladiators, everybody's equal there, right? I'm not seeing in this team, even if Arjun was there, and now without Arjun, Surya has to take up all the dependence, right? Surya, this team is depending on Surya for batting, especially for him to get a good score, for him to stay, for them to get a good score. It's really a tough situation right now, post auction, about this team. So they'll definitely have to make a change. Uh, they need a solution, and that solution is only one solution, which is to release Deepish. Obviously, all of these three players will be not leaving the tournament. So releasing Deepish is the next step, first possible solution. Why releasing Deepish? I believe that releasing Deepish is a win-win situation. I think I think that because Deepish will get a better captain to play with. Simon's been talking a lot about Deepish, how he's been a good captain to him. He's been a good leader to him, and I think Deepish just needs to find the right leader for him to be set straight. We saw that in the series. He bowled absolutely well, and I think he just needs a good captain. It's a win also for the Trailblazers because Deepish is an individual player. He's not a team player, and right now, before this team is even playing, they're already struggling, and this is just more of a struggle for Nikith and the Trailblazers. If Deepish is a one individual player, which is not good for the team at all. It's huge pressure for Nikith, an inexperienced captain, to captain Deepish. It's just more mental pressure for Nikith, right? I think as a captain, you're supposed to think, how can my team win? And the next thing is, how can I help my team win? And the next thing is, how can individually my players help the team win? But the priority shouldn't be how can Deepish help my team win, and how should he just constantly thinking about Deepish all the time, which is not a good situation a captain should have at all, especially when he's an experienced captain, and especially when his team is already struggling as a team. Well, who is going to replace Deepish? In my opinion, there's only one solution to replace Deepish, which is Arif. Well, Deepish is gone. We just talked about what he's leaving with. Well, what does Arif bring in? What RF brings in is experience. That's the first thing this team needs. You have an inexperienced captain. You have uh, a player. You have a batsman who just suddenly in the limelight when he was never really used to this a whole dependent situation, and RF just soothes the situation more when RF just brings experience in. Another thing that he brings himself is with calmness, right? The team becomes more calm. You don't see him. Araf is never an individual player. He plays for a team 90% of the time, 100% of the time. He plays for the team. So Nikit has a little bit of less pressure on how this player should do, on how should I make this player more happier. Nikit Araf is really obedient player. I think Nikit can have a little bit of uh, not mental stress when he's captaining Araf and Surya both. Another thing that Araf brings is bowling, right? You're, you're seeing an experienced bowler coming in. You're seeing um, obviously he hasn't had the best times yet, but I think Nikita's a captain that gives him just a little bit more freedom for him to play. And Araf needs that freedom. He doesn't want a rigid captain who wants to bowl him where he needs to bowl to, but he doesn't want a captain that's, not know what he's doing. Nikit is a blend of giving freedom and knowing what he's doing as well. And now I think Araf needs a little bit of that time, that space. The most important thing that Araf brings to the Trailblazers is batting. Araf's batting has been improving gradually, which is great to see. I'd love him to be turning into a nice leggy all-rounder, which is really, really good for the club. And hopefully when he goes in the Trailblazers, he brings his batting with him. The reason why I'm talking much more about his batting, less about his bowling, is because Trailblazers right now, it's really a hard situation with Deepish to get to 60 runs. Even when they're batting first, not a home game, it's really hard for them to get to 60 runs because Surya has been playing that supporting role obviously before this tournament, he's been playing supporting roles to major batsmen. That means obviously he just kept going from ball one, but he was ensured that there's another batsman to take on the innings. But Surya cannot play that innings right now because he's the only legitimate batsman. So the pressure eases off Surya when you see an RF coming in, and you might see them batting first and scoring 60 runs. And hopefully, Deepish coming as a non-core player to this team, just giving more versatility in the bowling, and hopefully uh, restricting the opposition from scoring 60 odd runs. And it's gonna be 60 odd runs, I think realistically, but it should be hopefully enough obviously more than about 40 runs when Deepish was there. So Araf just brings the extra 20 runs in uh, with him when he comes into the team, which is really good to see. That would be it honestly for today. It's just a one replacement uh from Deepish to Araf, and obviously just key highlights is that they didn't have a good auction. Only solution now to bring the best of their team is to bring in Araf and switch out Deepish. And it's a win-win for Deepish, and it's a win for obviously for the Trailblazers to let go of Deepish. And this should be the right time as well. Yeah, that would be it. That would be it for today. Obviously, next video we'll talk about the Stallions and how the team should tackle the auction. Sorry, not the auction, the trading period. And thank you. Please subscribe to our channel. Again, 50 subscribers, we can live stream our tournament and scrimmages. So please, please, please subscribe.